This is Change, chapter 18. An elephant separated from its herd will try to find its way back. From Care of Jungle Elephants by Tin Sambo. Scholars, we talked about how this quote foreshadows what's going to happen in the chapter. So I'm predicting that Hastin is like the elephant that was separated from his herd because Hastin had to go away from his village, but he's trying to find his way back. Let's start reading. The days start to grow warmer and longer, and for the first time in months, I count the marks on the stable wall. When I reach 100, I carve a long line on the wall to mark my place, so it will be easier to count next time. I count the rows of marks beyond the line and realize I've been here for almost half a year. My hair falls into my face as I stand, and my fingers get stuck in the tangles when I try to brush it back with my hands. It's grown past my shoulders now, and it's always in my face as I work. At home, Amma would cut our hair with her sewing scissors and then throw the hair outside into the wind. In a shrub near our home, I once found a bird's nest with black hair woven in with the twigs and brown leaves. In the supply shed, I find a pair of shears. Shears are scissors. You should be able to use your context clues because we were just talking about how Amma was cutting hair, and now he's going to be using shears to cut his hair. With one hand, I gather my hair, then with the other, I reach the shears back and snip the hair off. Outside, the wind blows toward my home. I hold up the handful of hair and release it to a gust of wind and watch it fly away. I dream that the wind is strong enough to carry it all the way to my village, where it will help make a nest for a bird. And Amma will see the black wavy hair woven into the nest and know that I am all right. Again, I plan our escape. He says our because he has to include Nandita because he promised her he would not leave without her. This time, I will be ready. I will not endanger Nandita this time by leaving on impulse. One evening after her bath, I place an empty iodine bottle under the straw in the stable. The bottle is large, but light and has a lid to hold water inside after I fill it. Near the forest, there will be plenty of water, but rivers and streams will be hard to find once I enter the desert. My pocket knife is always with me. Scholars, if you can answer on this post and tell me why the pocket knife is always with him, I will give you bonus points. So my pocket knife is always with me. When it's time to leave, I'll have to grab the axe on our way to the property fence. Nandita barely fit through the wooden gate last time, and she's grown since then. But if I chop away at the fence post next to the metal gate, I'll be able to free the gate from the chain that holds it closed. Each day as I work and each night as I sleep, I dream of home. I imagine feeling dry sand again and seeing smoke pour from our courtyard stove in my village. I dream of the baking roti and the buttermilk calming its steam, and my mother's whole-faced smile. I long to hear the mooing of our cows and play ball with Raj and even look forward to seeing a camel again. Most of all, I need to know if Chanda is all right. One morning, I throw off my blanket and sit up in a panic when I realize that it's sunrise that woke me, not Nandita. I slept all night long. She always needs a bottle of milk during the night, but she did not wake up. I reach over and touch Nandita's head. She opens one eye and looks at me, then closes it and starts snoring again. I sigh with relief, then laugh. No bottle at night anymore? I say, I guess you're growing up, Nandita. Naimin isn't in the cook shed when I place the water tub on the stove, so I sit to work on a wooden elephant I've been carving. I don't expect to be as good as my father yet, but after all this time and practice, my skills should have improved more. This figure is better than many I've done. It is smooth and even, and anyone looking at it will be able to tell it's an elephant. But still, something is wrong. Something is missing. To me, this ... means something is being foreshadowed here with the elephant figurine or something to do with his carving. So I think there's something that we're going to go back to here. Naimin shuffles into the cook shed and leans over the table to see my work. That looks like it was carved by someone who has never seen an elephant, he says. Maybe by someone who has seen an elephant only in pictures. Do you ever see them standing so still? No. But Naaman, this is a block of wood. Of course it is still. He crosses the cook shed to the stove. And that is why it only looks like an elephant shaped of block. I messed that up. I'm going to start this over right here. And that is why it looks like an elephant-shaped block of wood. You are thinking of them as carvings with no life. When you focus instead on the living, moving animals, your work will show that. I like that Naaman gave him some advice about his carvings. I close my eyes and think about the first time I saw the elephants, stomping through the forest, playing in the river, spraying water from their trunks. Those always moving trunks, reaching for mangoes, ripping down branches. When I open my eyes, I look at the carving in my hand, lifeless. Naaman is right. Certainly there has never been an elephant that has stood so still. Not just still, but straight. If I planted it in the ground, I'm sorry, I messed up here again. I'm going to start over. Scholars used to do the same. If you're reading something and you notice that you messed it up, or it should be read with different voice inflection, you need to reread it. So that's what I just realized. Not just still, but straight, as if I planted, sorry, again, I added a word. I'm going to start over. Not just still, but straight, as if planted in the ground. And the trunk, it lies there like a dead snake. That is a simile. The trunk looks like a dead snake, and they're both being compared with the word like. Maybe if I add some curves to it later, it will look more like it's moving. I fold the blade of my knife into the handle and drop it into my pocket with the wooden elephant. After breakfast, Tamir and Sherrod talk at the table while I wash the dishes with Naaman. I'm going to town tomorrow morning, says Tamir. I will be here in the afternoon, but start working on some new tricks with the elephant. Without Tamir around, Sherrod will not bother showing up for work early. If I leave, it will be a long time before anyone notices. Hosteen has already mentioned that that's something of his concern. He wants to be able to escape when someone is not there or not able to notice him. So it looks like this will be the day. Tomorrow morning, tomorrow, before the sunrise, we will leave. And again, these italicized words means that these are Hosteen's thoughts, not what he's saying out loud. Only when Naaman nudges me do I realize I have paused in my dishwashing. I sit frozen in place, holding a plate and dishcloth over the water. I glance at Tamir as I continue my chores and notice his glare. I smile at him. Fine, I'll stare all you want. I'm washing your breakfast dishes for the last time. Again, these are his thoughts. That afternoon, Naaman appears at the stable door as I'm cleaning. I went home to get a gift for you, he says. He holds out a colorful cloth bag. I drop my pitchfork against a wall. A gift? Why? I've had this for a long time, but I do not need it anymore. He hands the bag to me. I run my fingers over the designs of red, purple, and blue stitching into the canvas fabric. The edge of the black handle are frayed, and the seam along the bottom has been restitched with different colors of thread. The bag looks old and worn, but strong. Maybe you can make use of this, he says. It is still good and can carry many things if you ever need something like that. Ooh, I think that this shows that Naaman knows what Hosteen is planning, because why else would he have given him the bag? Thank you, Naaman. I cannot look him in the eye, but I step forward to hug him. I wish I could talk to him more, find out how he knows so much, why he's so good with Nandita, and what makes him so sad. I inhale the smell of cinnamon and pepper and those spices I never knew before I met him. I breathe them in deep so the scents will tie him to my memory. Oh, I love that. I wrote science here. So that's something I wanted to mention in science class, is that scent and your senses, like your sense of smell, is strongly tied to your memory. So sometimes if you ever get a smell in your nose and you're like, oh my gosh, I remember something, or maybe a smell reminds you of something or someone, it's because your Memory has associated that scent with something. Let's continue reading. After dinner, I fly out of the cook shed. As soon as I finish cleaning, I can't wait to get through my chores and pack my things in the bag Naaman gave me. I slow down when I see Tamir standing outside his office with Sherrod. I casually walk to the stable and keep my eyes on the ground. I loop the chain around Nandita's neck to lead her to the spring for one last bath. Her ears flap as she dashes out of the stable. She seems to know something important is going to happen. One more night, Nandita, I tell her. Tomorrow we will be free. I close the stable door behind us and wonder what my family and neighbors are having for dinner. Chandra will save a bit of her food for Raj if she's there. We take only a few steps before Tamir's voice stops us. Wait, he says, something for the elephant. Nandita stiffens, her ears flat against her head. If Nandita's stiffening, then I think that the sound of Tamir's voice is what is causing that. All right, here. I turn to see Tamir and Sherrod walking towards us. Sherrod carries 2 metal shackles joined by a thick chain. He kneels down to place the cuffs around Nandita's front legs. With one snap of the shackles, he locks away any hope we had of escaping. This breaks my heart, guys. You know I want Hastine to escape. I'm sure you feel the same way. Oh, that was it? Oh my goodness, no! Tune in next time for me to read chapter 19. Thank you.